Good
Coach, thanks
afternoon.
for hey, Coach, thanks for a couple of minutes of your time.
No problem.
We'll get right back over to Greg Barnes. Go ahead, Greg.
Hey, Coach, if we look back 2 years to 2019, kind of comparing the depth and experience you had then to what you have now, how big is that gap?
That is a huge difference. It's a huge difference. You know, back then we had two guys that were older guys that could really play, and not a lot of experience or depth behind them. And now, you know, you got a room with a bunch of guys that have a chance to be good.
One thing Mac has talked about is back then you had Strobridge and Aaron Crawford, and it was a matter of, okay, is Aaron at 80% better than his backup at 100%? Now it sounds like it's really a matter of you've got so many guys that can play. It's the challenge of figuring out how to get everybody reps. How do you go about processing that to make sure all these guys are getting the snaps they deserve?
Well, they're going to get the snaps they earn. And then, like, you know, Jeremy just asked me that a minute ago. Okay. It's like I got 10 kids and 4 popsicles. Okay. You got to break them off, right? And make it fair, but it ain't going to be equal, right? So you got to make it work. And sometimes you got to slice it up to where it looks good. Everybody gets a taste, but all of them won't get the same size chunk.
Thank you.
Andrew Jones, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, in distributing that playing time, how much of it boils down to guys being perhaps specialists in certain areas? For example, Mac has referenced Clyde Pinder's ability to rush, so maybe he gets more of his snaps in obvious rush situations. So you actually have the options of using guys very situationally this year when you haven't really had that before.
No doubt. And I think that's going to really help us. Guys can, you know, find a role and embrace that role and get really thoroughly immersed in it. And knowing that when the number called, you know, it's like, hey, it's like, okay, we need a closer, you know, it's your role. Okay, we need a grinder, you know, it's your role. And it keeps everybody engaged, keeps everybody fighting for each other and working hard because they know that at any moment their number can get called.
We just talked to Kevin Hester. He came in as sort of a blank canvas, hadn't played that much football previously. How have you seen him embrace the realities of football in the trenches, the physical stuff, getting stronger and just tackling everything he needs to get himself to where he could be a part of that rotation?
He's done a tremendous job. He's an outstanding young man, you know, but he came in here only 1 year of high school football, you know, probably thought he was closer to Giannis Antetokounmpo than he was to, you know, Aaron Donald or something like that. He might still think that sometimes, but he works hard at it. He's humble. He grinds away. He's unselfish. Outstanding young man. And he has really put himself in a position to really help us and add value to our team.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Dina King, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, how are the younger guys, Keyshawn and Jabari, adapting to the college game?
No, I think they're doing a great job, you know, especially because they were able to come in January. You know, and people forget, like, they came in January after not having played their senior year of football, you know. So the curve, the learning curve for them has been great. They're working hard, you know. And I got to understand, like, there's always going to be some growing pains always, right? I just didn't know I was going to be the one feeling the growing pains. I thought I was them that felt the growing pains, but they are two outstanding young men, and they are progressing great right now.
Okay, C.L. Brown, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned, I love the popsicle analogy. With the 10 guys.
You know, part of that is because it's blazing hot out here right now. It might be my subconscious talking to me.
True. Is there a number, like, of snaps that you kind of look at as when production starts to fall off? Like, if a guy plays too many, like, is there in your mind like a ballpark number you like to?
Definitely. But it's different for each guy. You know what I mean? It's different for each guy, and some of it can be based on consecutive plays in a row. You know, you may be able to play 15, but you can't do them 15 straight. It might be in racks of 3 or racks of 5 or situations. So that's really, that's part of the challenge of fitting guys into their role, making sure that they're productive when they're in there, and making sure that the group is always fresh so that the entire defense can benefit from it.
And what's your approach to kind of the gamesmanship that goes on sometimes with offenses purposely, either going with some kind of soft sugar huddle so you can't make substitutions, or just staying in a hurry up to not make substitutions? How do you kind of deal with that in trying to make sure you have the right guys in your package in?
Well, I think it's a evil, villainous, despicable way to run offenses, the no huddle and hurry up and making big guys sprint here and there. No, it's hey, look, when our guys do it, I love it. You know what I mean? But what you have to do is that's why guys got to be ready. And what it does is when they're tempoing you, it forces the guys on the sideline to stay locked in, right? And then the guys on the field, they know that there's a signal that they can give to say, hey, after this play, somebody needs to come get me, right? And I would show you the signal, but ain't no telling. They might be hacking in on us, and I don't want to tip my hand here.
All right, appreciate it, Coach.
Ross Martin, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, we always hear about depth and all these players that are ready to play. Is there a number of guys you think are ready to go against Virginia Tech as of right now? Like a certain number you can give us on the line?
Nope.
Okay.
Nice shot. Nice try. I know. Right now they're all getting ready. They're all getting ready. So today, I don't know. But whatever that number is today, there'll be a couple more in a couple days, and a couple more in a couple days. And then on game day, when we're ready to roll, we'll be ready to roll.
Okay. Thank you.
You didn't like that answer right there, did you?
We hear about we always hear 8 to 10. Oh, there's too deep on offensive line, and it just never works out to where that many people play. So I was gonna ask.
That's a good question. But you know, I know what I would like to have. You know what I mean? But ready right now, like some of those guys are in the process of getting ready. And it's really the final product that you really want to lock in on.
And let me follow up with, we've heard some names like, Christian Varner, mentioned Hester. Who are some guys you think are really going to take that step where they can play 20, 30 and be substantial impact players that have not done that yet? We've also heard Miles Murphy obviously is going to be a big time player for y'all this year. Any other names you think are really stepping up that you can tell us a little about?
I think all those guys have really taken a step. Because outside of Ray and Tamari, none of them, and Jaleel in spots, Jaleel's had a great camp. Tamari's doing well. Ritzy's doing great. I think they're all coming along. Christian Varner has been outstanding. He's been outstanding. He's been physical. He's smart. He's had humility, so he's been able to sit back and learn. And now, those reps that he was getting sitting behind guys and being on the scout team are starting to pay off for him. So I'm really pleased with the progress of all those guys. Keyshawn's coming along. Kedrick Bentley-Jones is coming along. I think they'll all be ready for a different number of snaps at different times. So we got to keep progressing them so that, when the rubber hits the road, they're ready for that role, whether that's 2 snaps, 20 snaps, or 30 snaps.
And quickly, Kedrick Bentley-Jones, he's come back from injury, but it seems like he's getting more in the mix. Can you just speak to kind of what he's done over the spring to now where he is going to be a guy you can kind of count on at some points?
You're talking about a kid who coming off an Achilles, tremendous adversity, and he just puts his head down and grinds away. And he is a Mack truck in the middle in there. You know what I mean? He is big and strong. We call him Thanos, you know what I mean? Because at any moment he can snap his fingers and blink you out of existence if he puts his hands on you. But he humble, really, you know, he sits under Ray and really soaks it in and learns. And you know, once he gets all the way back and keeps growing and learning the defense, he's going to be a tremendous asset for us.
Thanks. You're a quote machine.
Our last question today will come from Melissa Ray.
We know these guys are deep, but physically, we also heard that they're bigger. How does the size of the D-line compare to maybe the couple years past?
Lord have mercy. That I can speak to. They are much, much bigger than we've been in the past. And we still got to work, still, you know, because big ain't everything, but it is something. You know what I mean? So they've gotten a lot bigger. Coach Hess and his crew, Blue and Dean, Heck and Miles, those guys have done a great job training those guys. Kelsey and those guys in nutrition have been awesome. And so we're, you know, we're starting to look the part the way you should.
Great. Fantastic, Coach. Thanks for a couple of minutes this morning.
All righty. You guys have a good one.
You too.